Is Fujifilm the new Leica? It seems that the Fujifilm CEO wants to take Fujifilm to be a brand like Leica. And I want to address this statement that I found on Fujifilm rumors, and let's see my opinion about Fujifilm versus Leica, the philosophies and the good points, the strong points and the bad points. Let's talk about this now. Hi there, Tudor Matescu here. Please subscribe now to my channel if you aren't subscribed. I have here the Leica M camera, digital system camera, and I'm shooting for almost half a year this camera, and also I have here Fujifilm X Pro 3, and I'm shooting Fujifilm X Pro 3 I think for 3+ years. So I have some experience with Fujifilm and also some experience with Leica M system. And I want to address on this statement that I've read on the Fujifilm rumors site that the philosophy, the internal philosophy of Fujifilm is to go on the Leica route. I've always said that Fujifilm is copying Leica, but some viewers contradicted me and they've said no, Fujifilm is copying contacts. Now we have a real statement where we are able to see that Fujifilm, it inspires from what Leica is doing. So let's be serious, it's clear when you are looking at X Pro 3 that it's looking like a Leica camera. And one of the interesting statements was that Fujifilm is keeping supply low as Leica, because if they will overproduce cameras that people want to buy and can't find in stock, they will have to diminish the price of their Fujifilm cameras. So what I understand here from a marketing standpoint, this is scarcity. And of course, we want products that we can't find. But scarcity alone doesn't make a great company. Scarcity alone doesn't make a great marketing strategy. So we are getting again to the marketing strategy. A good marketing strategy has a good product in it. Just if you're a scammer, you don't look at the product. So Leica has premium products. When I'm putting my hand on this camera, I feel it's a different camera just when I touch it. It's small, it's compact, it's functioning in a totally different way compared to other cameras. Next, it's a full frame sensor. So a premium product, full frame sensor. The lenses are premium lenses, metal build, aperture clicks with consistency in their build quality. Yes, you have problems on Leica, yes, you have problems on Fujifilm, on all the systems. You could have some problems, but this is not the idea. The idea is that the Leica cameras have years and years of history behind them, and they are well-known manufacturers, especially for the quality of their cameras, for the durability of their cameras. Yes, you can have some problems, and we know that Leica had some problems with Leica M11 and so on, but they have a big heritage in their back, and also their old cameras are functioning like a Swiss watch. So this is why you go to buy a Swiss watch and not an Apple watch. Because you like mechanics, because you like good build quality, because you like a good, nice, premium product. Where Fujifilm is staying in this equation? Where does Fujifilm is staying in this equation with their latest cameras? Let's look at the Fujifilm X-T5, a plasticky camera with plasticky dials, very empty dials. It doesn't have a full frame sensor, it has a noisy sensor in general because it's an external sensor that doesn't render sharp images like Leica it's rendering. And I'm okay with this because you buy a Fujifilm for the film look. And for the film look, the X-Trans is working. But does it work for the premium market? Okay, the TikTok users are wanting now film-like pictures, and Fujifilm had a spike with X100VI. But from my point of view, on the long term, if you don't make a great product, you'll have problems. So on Fujifilm, we have known and well-reported problems regarding build quality issues. with the latest generations of the cameras. I'm not talking about the previous generations, because the previous generations, from my point of view, X100V, X-T30 Mark II, X-E2S, X Pro 2, and I'm not including X Pro 6 because they have the ribbon problem with the screen, so the screen will break on you, but other than that, the camera is extraordinary. But the newer generation, I feel they've lost a lot regarding build quality. They've lost a lot regarding simplicity of the system and of the firmware. So let's talk just about the system of the Fujifilm camera versus a system of a Leica camera. The present system of my Fujifilm X-T5, it's giving me headaches. It's giving me headaches. The previous system of the menu that was on X100V and older cameras was simpler, was logical. You set the Q to have film simulations. Change the Q film simulations and you will be ready to shoot with another simulation. No, now the camera on the Q menu is saving user settings like AF settings, like crop factor and all kinds of settings, And if you change settings, the settings are saved or are not saved depending on how you set the Q button. So it's a totally mess. I've addressed that many times. And there is no hope. There is no hope that we'll get back the older menu system from Fujifilm, where you could know what a Q slot is doing, and it was very clearly for you and very easily to set up the camera and to use it without needing to change settings. I can do this with my Fujifilm X Pro 3. I can use it. It's very simple. I set my Q button, I'm making my settings, it's working fine, it's great. But no, now with X-T5, I'm using camera without a Q slot. I'm using the camera without a Q slot. The Q slots now for me are unusable. Why? Because I've said numerous times, they save camera settings like AF settings, like AFC settings, IAF and all kinds of settings. And when you want to change a film simulation with other film simulations, your AF settings, crop factor settings and all other camera settings are changing also. So it's a totally mess of a menu system. This isn't happening with older Fujifilm cameras, how I've said. And also, for sure, this doesn't happen with Leica cameras. So a big difference regarding the operation of the product. Here we have a simple, nice, well-thought product. This is why I like. It is well thought, it is logical. You go with the flow in the photography system with a Leica camera, but yes, I do agree with older Fujifilm cameras, but not with the present ones. This is why I'm not hyped about X-T50 or other Fujifilm cameras that will appear. They are more and more complicated. They are looking nice on the outside, but the build quality of the materials, it's not at the level of the older Fujifilm cameras or compared to a Leica camera. And now let's get to another very important thing here that I wanted to address for a long time, and this is firmware bugs. And I'm not talking about the AF. I've talked about the AF problems. You can see them on my channel. Now let's talk about the manual focusing, because when you are comparing with Leica and when you have the help of the Voigtlander manual focusing lenses, what you are doing. Let's see what the Fujifilm X-T5 and X-T50 firmware is doing with Voigtlander manual focusing lenses and with other manual focusing lenses. So I've mounted my Voigtlander lens, manual focusing lens, that is giving me Leica-like full frame image quality on Fujifilm X-T5. I've praised this lens and this is a great lens. It's not the fault of Voigtlander for what I will say now. It's the fault of Fujifilm. So Fujifilm changed the firmware, and in the latest 3.0 firmware, the F2 was showing F22. Now in the latest firmware 4.0, this problem is corrected just with my Ultron 27mm f2 lens. My viewers commented on my videos and they said that with their f0.9, f1, other Voigtlander lenses, they still have the problem. So they are shooting the lens at f0.95, f1.2, depending on the lenses. You can check the comments in my YouTube videos, and they still have the problem in the EXIF data. The Fujifilm camera is reporting f22. So Fujifilm updates on X-T5, probably on X-H2, X-H2S, X-T50 are making from these great amazing Voigtlander lenses unusable lenses for such a premium product like a Fujifilm camera. Okay, and now we are getting to the biggest problem here. The biggest problem here that some other reviewers addressed, and I will address it now. And it's incredible how Fujifilm didn't resolve such a big bug comparing themselves to Leica without resolving against such a big bug. So when you shoot in manual mode, generally you will use focus picking, red highlight focus picking. On an older Fujifilm camera that doesn't communicate with the EXIF data from Voigtlander, you have also focus picking. When you lightly press the button on your older Fujifilm camera, the focus picking will disappear and you'll be able to see the entire image, how it's looking and how it's composed, and you'll be able to take the shot. Now this doesn't happen with Fujifilm X-T5, probably X-T50 and other newer generation camera. The highlight picking doesn't disappear at all. So when you keep the camera in manual focus with red picking, you'll have red all over your image. So the shooting experience with a manual focusing lens from Voigtlander, again a great amazing lens, it's totally ruined by this focus picking. So you can't use focus picking with your Fujifilm camera to focus because you have red all over your image anytime you will set the camera. Yes, there is a workaround and I will show you immediately, but let's see if I can show you the red picking. So you are able to see the focus picking. I'm lightly pressing the button and I don't know if it's possible to see. Yes, it's possible to see in my hair. So it's not disappearing. The red picking is not disappearing. And on the street photography, this is a totally mess with this red picking. So basically, you can't use red picking with this setting. Of course, you can make a workaround, and the workaround is to press multiple times the display key and to enter in this screen. In this screen, you'll not see the red picking on the entire image, you will see it just in the small window that is helping you focus with the Voigtlander lens. What does this mean for Fujifilm manual focusing versus Leica manual focusing through an optical viewfinder where you have a rangefinder patch? The experience is totally different. The Leica M system is the king of manual focusing. I had high hopes with Voigtlander lenses, but it seems Fujifilm doesn't communicate too well with what Voigtlander is doing. I do prefer to use my older camera for manual focusing a Voigtlander lens. I don't have the red picking. The red picking is working as it should, and also the lenses without electronical contacts are working better because you have control on the red picking. This bug is also happening with manual focusing lenses on X-T5. So this is it. We are at firmware 4.0 and we still have this bug. Now, should I enter in more details regarding lenses and consistency in building lenses and how the lenses are operating? We have lenses from Fujifilm that are totally different from one and another. They communicate in different way, they have different aperture rings, you don't have consistency in the aperture rings and in the aperture clicks. Some aperture rings are sturdy and nice built, like 27mm f2.8, some are loosely on a premium lens like 18mm f1.4. And I could go on and on and on. So you can go with scarcity, but if you will not improve build quality, consistency, easy of use of your camera, I don't feel that scarcity will really help you grow your business from my point of view, because people will be able to observe the problems and they will move on to another system because they will have dissatisfaction. And in my point of view, your purpose as a company and as a business owner is to have a lifetime client, not just to trick the client with the latest model and trick him again and so on. Because the user will say, okay, trick me once, trick me twice, the third time you will not trick me again. So in conclusion, if you want a Fujifilm camera that it's acting like a Leica camera, you must look at the older Fujifilm cameras from my point of view. X-E2S, X-E3, X-T30 Mark II, X100V. I think X100V is their best camera. I really do think so, that X100V was the best camera that Fujifilm made. Great build quality, great operation of the camera. It's looking like a Leica camera, optical viewfinder and all other goodies. I didn't use X100VI, but the reports regarding build quality and other issues, and for sure it has the menu of X-T5, the new menu with the settings that I really don't like how they are operating. From what I remember, X100V had the older settings. So big deal here, because you can change film simulations, and it was a joy to change film simulations, keep the camera settings that you are in and move on and take pictures. So anyway, this is my take on Fujifilm versus Leica, and again and again and again I'm pointing that scarcity of the products doesn't bring value to the market. Scarcity of the products doesn't bring value. What is bringing value to the market, it's a very good, well-built product. But I do understand now that some companies are making some tests. They are making plastic fantastic cameras, put a high price, they are putting a scarcity cap, and they are trying to sell big profits. I do understand this is something that can bring you good profits, but I have a problem how users will see your brand on the long time. If you will not provide value on the long time, you can make plastic fantastic cameras, produce them in very small quantity, and don't expect you'll win a client over the lifetime of your company or of the lifetime of your client, because the clients will move to another robust system, even if that system may not look so flashy. Or if they want a flashy system that has all these goodies in it and a great product, I really do think they will look into the Leica system. So scarcity is not enough to make and to bring good value to the market. It's my opinion. Tell me what you think. Subscribe for more news, tips and tricks regarding photography from me. Subscribe to my newsletter, leave me your comments, and please use my affiliate links to buy something from the gear that I'm using or to buy something from Amazon, because those small commissions are helping me keep this channel alive. And also please check the next video, because also this is helping me grow my channel. Thank you, and I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.